we'll do it live. Like what's the guy? Not Pierce Brosnan. I forget the guy's name. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. What's up, everybody? I know you guys are probably looking at your machine, going, "What? He's going live on a Friday? What the hell's going on with this guy?" But this is what happens when you got two people from the hobby that have families, that have jobs, that have kids, they got wives and dogs, and I mean, I'm fresh off of a baseball game tonight. We had a little thing at my cousin's house that we had to go to, and then it's just a bunch of madness. And so this person that I'm bringing in today, those of you who are part of the channel or have been part of the channel for a while, you guys are going to be very familiar with him. And so we've been trying to get this going. We've been trying to do this for a long time. And we were chatting the other day and finally just said, you know what, dude, we have to put together a date and a time and commit, because the NBA season is about to start and we need to get our predictions in. And so without further ado, I want to bring in my man.
What?
Alan, what's happening, man?
What's going on, Omar? Thanks for having me back on the channel, man. Everything looks tip-top in the background over there. You really put that together very nicely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, there's still a little bit. I have this big blank space right here, but I got a couple of things on the way. So it's gonna be a curtain. It's gonna be a curtain. Like all this little area right here is gonna be a curtain of Hakeem Olajuwon jerseys. So it's gonna be pretty dope. Yeah. And then I have a very special piece of apparel that is very rare, very 90s. So once I get it up there, and I got hooks, my brother's making hooks, 3D printed hooks, special for that little area. So it's gonna be pretty dope. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah. So dude,
yes,
you have been very hard to nail down the last 6 to 8 months. But what's funny is that you and I we probably talk maybe 3-4 times a week, roughly. Just chatting through text messages and stuff like that. So
emails
and all that stuff. So we're always keeping in touch, which is great, man. I really appreciate you just reaching out and having a chat and all that good stuff. But one of the things that you and I have always probably spent the most time chatting about is basketball, and not basketball cards, just basketball. And so we've been talking like, dude, we got to get together, because you came on the channel last year and made some predictions that came true, right?
Somehow, some
way came true. So I thought it'd be a great idea as the preseason's kicking off, just to get you on. We'll go live. I know this is last minute for the folks that are watching live, but this is last minute. But that's okay. We'll hope whoever we get in here can get in here. But what we want to do is talk a little basketball, and I always jump at the opportunity to talk basketball, not necessarily basketball cards, but just basketball in general. So, what are your thoughts so far, man, on the preseason?
Well, first off, let me say congrats on the card hedge move there, man. I didn't get to speak in public about that. Only on the back end we did talk about it, and did a congratulations to you and
appreciate that,
the boys over at Card Hedge. JD, I know very well. He's got a really gem with you coming aboard, so congrats on that, and great pairing.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. So, pretty excited.
So preseason I've been monitoring quite closely already. As we're 2 to 3 games in, depending who you're watching. I like what I see so far from some of the players I kind of follow closely. I see some surprises that aren't, I don't want to call them surprises, but some very nice young talent that's coming into form this year. I'm also checking up on the newly incoming rookies for the 2023 draft. I did see Victor drop some knowledge the other night. He looks like the top pick. I can't even pronounce his last name. The
Victor Wembanyama or whatever.
Wembanyama or something. Yeah.
Did you see what Adam Silver? Did you see what Adam Silver said? He's like, listen, guys, I know you guys are salivating over this kid, but
Yeah.
please keep it competitive.
Yeah.
Because
So,
everybody wants to tank for him, right?
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like the Tim Duncan move, right? When David
Right,
Robinson was supposed
exactly.
to come back, and then he never came back. So
That's
but
right. Exactly.
I saw a little bit of his game last night, a couple days ago. He looks like some
Yeah.
7'2" Kevin Durant
Dude.
mixed with KG. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But the thing that scares me about that is the injuries. Like
yeah,
what just
like
happened with
Chet,
Chet, right?
well, you called that. You called that too.
Dude, didn't I? So that's
Yeah,
another thing, right? That you and I have
yeah.
like I think maybe 2 weeks before Chet's injury.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were talking about that, and we were
Yeah.
talking about all of the big men, right? That
Mm-hmm.
historically just haven't been able to keep it healthy from the knees down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, I would really, I don't like how frail he looks. I don't like that he's able to do that.
It was so funny because you go, it's going to be a foot, and lo and behold, it's like a foot. And I was like,
Literally his foot, not
yeah,
even an ankle or anything like that. Yeah.
or shin. It was a foot. But yeah, totally on
So
par with
unfortunate,
that.
man.
So I'm a little worried about this year's predictions with you, knowing that you're that hot already. Predicting
A little tough.
well, yeah.
But here's another thing that popped up. So I follow, like I'm on Reddit quite a bit. Like
Yep.
I like to Reddit is a great, their basketball subreddits, and more importantly, if you're like a particular fan of a particular team, you could follow that subreddit on Reddit, and they're pretty rabid. The fan base is there. But today they posted a picture that made my heart skip a beat, and that was Jabari Smith in a boot, like in an ankle foot boot, and apparently he sprained his ankle really bad. So that's not looking too good already for the fact that again, here we are, right?
Yeah, it's not fun for you being a Rockets guy. I know. Yeah.
I know it's especially since he put up, I don't know, 21 points in the first preseason game that he was in.
Yeah, 21-7 or something like that.
21-8, I think it
something
was
like that. Yeah. Pretty impressive.
So he came out the gates firing, that kid. Let's see here, 21-8-2 in 24 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Şengün putting up 13-5 in 17 minutes.
17 minutes. Yeah.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Right about where I said the other day. Yeah.
That kid's gonna be a double machine, I think.
And
I'm loving it because I've been stacking up on that kid since the beginning of time.
I got a couple autos of him. I know where
That's
I'm
right.
at too.
You do. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's a good hold, man. I think. Like, I really he just has so much international appeal. But we'll get into basketball cards a little bit here. But I think he's got such good international appeal, and he has solid fundamentals. He's got a solid body. The guy is thick as a tree trunk, and he's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get leaner, and just with more time in the NBA, he's again one of those Europeans, right? That come over, they adapt their game, because in Europe it's a lot harder to score. They adapt their game to the NBA, and they just turn into world beaters, man. So I'm pretty high on him, man. I really think he's going to do really well this year. But
I agree.
Who's somebody that so from preseason, what we've seen so far, I really like what I saw from Jabari. I really like what I'm continuing to see from Şengün. Obviously, big Rockets fan, as everybody knows. But who has like come out that you were like, world beater? You're like, whoa, this kid is coming out firing.
Like a rookie, Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray.
Yeah, Sacramento, Keegan Murray, and then and then Benedict. I forget his last name. I think it's on the Pacers. I forgot what his last name was. I think it's Mathering. Yeah, Keegan Murray on the Kings, and then Benedict Matherin on the Pacers.
So Keegan Murray against the Lakers put up 16, 6, and 1 in 20 minutes of play. That's solid, bro. And he was off the bench also, by the way.
Yeah, he's the sixth man.
Interesting. And what was the other guy from the Pacers?
Benedict Matherin, Mathurin. He's out of Arizona, 6th pick overall.
Yeah, Benedict Mathurin. Yep, 15-1-1 in 18 minutes of play. That's solid, man. That's a point a minute that kid's putting up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to check him out. Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 2023 class is gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yes. So those are kind of the rooks, obviously, aside from the big names, But
Sure.
those are the two kind of sneaky ones because, well, Keegan for sure, because if they aren't up to par with the rest of the league, like that West is loaded, I think they're just gonna give up and go for the Victor sweepstakes. He might see a lot of burn after the All-Star break that can kind of propel him to the ROI talk.
Mm-hmm. What is this? Oh, the Rockets just finished their game today against Toronto.
They dropped another 100-something burger.
116.
Burger. Yeah.
116, dude.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, 23, 4 and 2. Tari Eason, which is a sneaky pick.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky pickup for the Rockets. 24, 8 and 1 in 24 minutes of play.
Yeah. They got guys that can put the ball in the hoop over there.
These kids are here to play.
Yeah.
It's funny though. I wonder what happened with Şengün. He didn't play.
No, they just sat some of the starters this game.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Game.
Yeah,
they just rested up. Yeah.
Jayshawn Tate's a little disappointing. 7, 5 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I see Bruno Fernando getting some playing time at the 5, which is interesting.
Back up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Boban got a few points. He got 1 minute. Boban, that guy's hilarious, man. When we got him, I was like, well, this is gonna get interesting.
That's great.
Oh, somebody said, "Ho, you fat."
Yeah,
have you seen that? Funny. There's a guy. His name is Stevie Ho, you fat.
Oh my god,
that's his name.
Of course, great.
He's French. French player. Look at this. Get a load of this. This is hilarious. I'm surprised you haven't seen this yet.
So been busy, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You did. You've been super busy.
This. Oh, that.
Look at the back of this kid's jersey.
Oh my goodness! Of course.
That is his name.
Awesome.
That is his given name.
Given name. That's awesome.
That is his given name. Hilarious.
That's
Stevie
great.
Ho, you fat.
That's great.
What's happening, Mervin? How you doing, man?
What's up?
Precious is gonna break out. Achua. Interesting. That's an interesting take. Tough one, huh? Where's he at?
Toronto, ain't he?
No, I thought he was. He's over there with the Cavs, isn't he?
Did he get moved? I thought it was on Toronto.
Precious Achua. Here we go. Oh, you're right. Yep. Toronto Raptors.
Yep.
Let's see. What did he do? How did he do? NBA preseason, Toronto Raptors. What did he put up?
Hit or miss.
Yeah. 10, 6 and 2 on 20 minutes of play. Coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Not too bad, I suppose. Backup role.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, it's going to be playing time for him.
Yeah, with Boucher and Pascal, that small ball lineup they're trying to run. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So that's going to be interesting. On that one. We'll see. We'll see how he ends up doing.
Yeah.
So you and I had a.
We got some lists.
We got a prompt that we came up with, right? So we did do a little bit of homework before we came and did the video. So, exactly, just a tiny bit of homework. So I posed the question: 3 things to start some conversation. Top 3, what you think the regular season will end up at, right? Top 3 in the West. Who you think is going to end up top 3 in the West? Who you think is going to end up top 3 in the East? Okay. And then one oddball question that I had, because this is a relatively new concept, is the play-ins, right? And the question is one of the 3 questions was, who do you think is going to make it into the playoffs by way of the play-in tournament that actually has a shot at making it to their respective conference finals, right? Because that one is a multi-layered question. that I think is a good one. That like it really makes you like think, right? Because you're like they have to suck in the preseason enough to barely be making it by way of the play-ins, but yet once they're in the playoffs, they have
to
call
do
it the
damage.
legs, yeah,
They
call
can
it
do
the
damage.
legs or the stamina to actually get in there and do some damage. And then the last one that we are going to go over, we're going to give our predictions for, is sixth man of the year. Our prediction for sixth man of the year, and then our MVP prediction.
Sure.
So where do you, I'll let you pick where you want to start.
So should I wow everyone, or should I start traditional?
Yeah. So I'll let you pick whichever one goes for.
I'll go traditional first with the East.
Okay.
In no particular order. I just have a top three, but I don't have an order per se.
Okay, interesting.
I just have a top three. So the Sixers.
Okay.
The Bucks.
Go ahead.
And then the Atlanta Hawks.
Interesting. Okay. So I got
Boston,
Sixers.
I left Boston out because
I saw that you did that.
Because coaching issues. We don't know what's going to happen.
Up in the air.
And I left Cleveland only because we don't know how that mesh is going to happen yet. An injury prone lineup.
That's fair. So let me give you my three, and then we'll get into that.
We'll come Bay.
Yeah, we'll come. Let me pull up the one. So I'm gonna pull up a couple of things here because we disagree on one.
Of course.
So I got Bucks. I got Sixers. And then I have Cavs.
Okay.
Right.
We're right there.
Yeah, we're not far off, right? So you dropped Cavs and you have the
Atlanta.
The Hawks.
Yeah.
You have Atlanta. Okay. And it's interesting, and you'll see why in a little bit. Because I have a buddy of mine. I have a buddy of mine who I talk to about this stuff all the time. It's another basketball type guy. I wrote down and I asked him the same questions.
Okay.
And him and I have the exact, with the exception of the play-in scenario, we have the exact same picks. Him and I, the exact same picks.
That's funny.
Except for sixth man of the year. So we'll get into that. But so you said Hawks instead of Cavs, which I actually like the Hawks, and I struggled with that same one, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't put him in there because I like Donovan Mitchell so much.
Yep. It's a fair statement, but I look at Mobley coming off of an injury. I look at Kevin Love, who can't stay healthy. I look at the extra depth. LeVert can't stay healthy. I just look at a lot of bodies on that team that just can't stay healthy.
Yeah. So aside from, I'm with you on Mobley. I'm with you there. I like another reason why I picked them. I like, obviously they're starting five, but you're absolutely right. Health concerns are always, especially with big men, Kevin Love, especially with Jared Allen, right? Some health concerns there. Those guys are, they're always hit or miss. I think Donovan Mitchell he's going to have the biggest chip on his shoulder. But aside from that, I like Okoro as well.
Oh yeah, sneaky.
Okay,
yeah,
I like it. He's so sneaky. He is so sneaky. I like Okoro. And then who's the other
Garland?
kid?
Garland's
the other kid. Okay, so that's kind of what I was like. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. But I like the Hawks too. So okay, cool.
It was a toss up for me just because I give the edge with DeJounte Murray, who's coming off a 25-8-9 game in the preseason, and that kind of swayed me a little bit on my decision.
I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
That's all.
Let me see here.
That's all.
So that was the teeter for you then, huh?
That was the teeter.
Let's see here. Yeah, dude, DeJounte Murray putting up 25, 8, and 9. That is solid numbers, dude. Look at Aaron Holiday, 16, 2, and 2 in 20 minutes of play.
Sneaky bench. DeAndre Hunter is very solid.
Dude, Okongwu.
Bogdanovich didn't play either.
Wow, and they put up 120-point piece, huh?
Capella, your boy, is healthy.
Dude, when Capella is there, because look, I'm looking at the stats from that game. He didn't put up anything, right?
No.
He put up 5-4-0. But you better believe that him just sitting in that paint is a problem for a lot of people.
Altered shots, exactly.
Yeah.
Defensive length, yeah, exactly.
They held the Bucks to 114.
Correct.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah. So, yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, that was all. That's a little sway. That's it. But
I like
on the same path. On the same path. The West is where it's gonna be a pain in the butt.
You think so?
Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're
gonna hate me for this. Okay, so all right. So
you're gonna hate me for this.
So so not much controversy there because I see how you got to the Hawks over Knicks. So that I respect that, right? Yeah. So let's go on the West in no particular order. Nope. I have Denver.
Okay.
Warriors.
Okay.
Clippers.
Okay. I can't do that to myself. I wanted to so bad. Okay, look, I'm going to be honest here, right? I knew you were going to pick them, so I didn't pick them.
Just out of spite?
Pretty much. So that's hilarious. I went Golden State.
Okay. You have to. I mean,
I went Golden State, Memphis.
Okay, you're gonna see why I'm interested in that Memphis pick here in a second.
Are you ready for my big sleeper of the year? If health goes the way it should go, in a good way, New Orleans.
Oh, I know why you did that, and it's not because of Zion.
No. So the reason I left the Clippers out of mine is I think they're gonna hold back with health purposes. Like Kawhi's not going to play a full 82, maybe 70 games. They'll sit him a little bit. They'll sit Wall a little bit. They have depth, but how good is the depth? I don't know yet. Paul has some thing where he might rest. I get it. Denver is all about health with that team. I love Murray. I love Porter. I like Gordon. I love Jokic. But they lost Barton, they lost Monte Morris, they lost some bench pieces, but they're formidable. But I just went with more youth with New Orleans and Memphis.
Yeah,
Golden State's Golden State. I mean,
they're an institution at this point.
They're tough.
Yeah.
But New Orleans, Memphis is hungry. New Orleans. It wasn't Zion particularly. I think Ingram is going to be into his own this year. I think McCollum, a full year there makes him better. I think Jones is underrated. I love Valanciunas. No one loves this guy. He's just the quiet 15. He's the quiet 15 and 10.
Yes.
Devontae Graham is formidable off the bench for some points if you need be. And they're pretty good. They're really good.
So another one that's in here, Najee Marshall.
Yeah.
In the last game, put up a quiet 14, 4, and 2 in 17 minutes of play. I mean, those are solid numbers. And I'm with you, man. Valanciunas, I think, is another one of those Clint Capella type players that is just he's a lunch pail and hard hat kind of basketball player, right? Shows up. He's going to put up those solid points, but more importantly, he's going to be a disruptor in that paint.
Yep.
And that's all it takes, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. That's so funny. Grand Theft Alvarado. God, that's hilarious. I love that.
It'd be a preseason game. Not really compared to Atlanta with DeJounte. I'm a huge fan of Spider, but I'm not sure if he's going to be a good fit. And with preseason games, I'm not really impressed compared to Atlanta with DeJounte. Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the unknown, right? It's like, sometimes a change of pace and a change of scenery does a player tremendous, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll kick off the playoff play-in.
Yeah. So for those of you that are just joining, so we just went through.
Go for it.
We just went through top 3 in the West, top 3 in the East. The next thing we're going to go over is a question that I asked, which was, what team is going to make it into the playoffs by way of the play-in tournament that has an actual shot at making it to their respective conference finals. So I'll let you
kick
go.
this one. I'll kick this. My heart wants to say Lakers, but I'm not going to. It wants to. It wants to.
Okay, go ahead.
But since I left this team out of kind of the top 4 in the West, I think this is a team that could be a 7-8 seed, but can make noise, is the Wolves.
Okay, interesting.
So
you're going with Ant-Man on that one.
I think D'Angelo Russell. I think Ant-Man. I think the addition of Gobert down low to alleviate Cat from playing any type of defense on anybody.
Yeah, of course.
And letting Cat, and letting Cat actually flourish and score and be a threat is a big difference maker when you have a 7'1" body playing defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they can make noise. They match up. Listen, like if you go by matchups, just straight matchups,
right.
and they play a Denver team. Think of the matchups.
Yeah, they're going to be tough.
Think of a Dallas team if they play Dallas. Think if they play the Clippers. Think of the matchups that can go on the court.
See, somebody Chris is saying Lakers if they're healthy.
If they're
he likes the Laker pick. That's a big if, man.
Okay, but I've watched them enough years to know, and I've seen enough of this team up close that the personalities are gonna mess it all up.
It's not gonna work, huh? You think they're gonna pick up Draymond?
I mean, if they want to get him in some Friday night fights, yeah, why not?
Somebody called his own and sign him up.
But I think the Wolves, just because of the hunger, what they proved last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some good talent. Can they make a trade to bring in a little bit veteran leadership to put them over the hump?
Yeah.
Because they're close.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that 1-2 of Edwards and then Big Cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary one, man.
Yeah. And if I was going to do East, I would take Wizards, but I have more Wolves. But if it was the East, I'd take the Wizards.
So my pick is the Hawks.
I knew you were going to go that route. 7 seed, maybe 8 seed, maybe
7 or 8 seed, right? Could maybe they ran into some injury trouble during the season. Potentially, like we talked about, right? Some of those players that are injury prone, they drop to a 7 seed, 8 seed, and then all of a sudden they're in a scramble in the play-ins. They make it through the play-in tournament. Now they're in there. They're potentially they're healthier, and I think they could make a pretty decent run.
Yep, I like
it. And then the other one that I had was Memphis. So for me, it was either between Memphis.
So funny, we're bouncing. Yeah, we're bouncing.
So that's what I'm saying. When you put them in your top 3, I'm like, oh my god, that's like, I didn't put them in my top 3 because I really feel like that could potentially run into some issues, right? And mid-season with health and things like that. But even if they did, and they just made it by way of the play-in, that they would be world beaters at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Hawks. I think Hawks are gonna. My heart's always with the Hawks. Ever since they took Capella, and then I started watching the games because I love Capella, and then realized, aside from the obvious Trae Young type situations, they have a pretty solid team over there, man.
Yeah.
So I kind of became like even though my heart is always with the Rockets, I became sort of a pseudo Hawks fan.
Yeah.
And I tend to try to watch as much as I can of those guys. But
yeah. So 6 man then MVP, then six man then MVP.
Vinny wants the Timberwolves to take Draymond. That's funny.
Forget that. That is funny.
That is an eruption waiting to happen if they were to do that. Let's see, who's this guy? Ant-Man's my guy. Inside says,
love it.
A lot of love for Ant-Man. I just got back my 9.5 rookie
Ant-Man
from SGC, dude. I was so pumped about that one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, let's see. Okay, so the next one that we got that we were asking.
6 man
potential. Our pick for 6th man of the year. I'll let you go first.
I got 2 guys.
Okay.
Christian Wood and Malcolm Brogdon.
Dude. Okay. Christian Wood.
That's
so
it.
I had
Enough said.
two guys. I had two
Enough
kind
said.
of potential guys as well. So I had Christian Wood, but I didn't like if I just picked one, I didn't pick Christian Wood. I picked Cameron Jordan.
Okay.
Cameron Jordan. I think he's gonna be sixth man of the year. But then it was a toss up between Christian Wood and Cameron Jordan. Now Christian Wood debut didn't really do so well, right?
You see what he did tonight? 14 points.
I did.
He dropped 14 and 10 tonight, I think.
Oh, let's see. Against the Magic, right? Against Orlando? Yep, here it is.
Yeah, I think so. 14 and some change.
He's another one of those guys, man. Dude, what are you talking about? 14, 23, 2-1.
Oh, last I saw, it was 14 at half.
Okay, so yeah, he must have kicked it up in the.
Yeah.
Dude, 23, 2-1.
Yeah. Couple threes. I saw that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He's such a threat. The Rockets picked him up for pennies.
I know.
Pennies, and turned him into that. You want to talk about a flip? That was a major flip that the Rockets did with Christian Wood.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you got Christian Wood, sixth man of the year.
Yep.
And what was the other one?
Malcolm Brogdon.
That's right. So
if he's not starting, but yeah. All right. I'm curious about your MVP before mine.
What? I mean, are you really curious, or do you really know who I'm going to pick?
No, I'm not sure exactly where you're going, but I want to hear who you're going to go with first.
I'm going with Luka.
Okay.
I think Luka's. I mean, if he stays healthy, we just got finished talking about Christian Wood, right? Yeah. Which they never really had that big of a presence in the paint with somebody like a stretch five like a Wood who can, get out there and shoot that three. I just think he's going to be in a really good position running true point. He's down like 15, 20. He's like leaned out tremendously. There's just Google. Just go on YouTube and search the videos that they're already comparing like his time in the in the Euro League this summer. Just the way he runs, his stride, his sprint, everything, man. I think this year's Luka is going to be the best Luka we have ever seen. And then it's only going to get better because he's now got a Christian Wood down in the center. I mean, everything is working in his favor this year. I just don't see anybody, barring any injuries. I just don't see anybody else. See anybody else in that run.
It's a 2-horse race.
Who's the other horse?
Embiid.
Oh, Embiid. Oh, Embiid is a sneaky pick.
It's a 2-horse race. And Luka's the other one.
So
I think the numbers that Embiid put up last year were warranting of MVP stature. I think he was about 29, 13 and some change.
Yeah, what did he do last year? Let's see.
It was big numbers.
No, dude, he was averaging a 30 spot.
Yeah, he was like 28.8 or 29.8. It was
30.
Big.
He was averaging a double-double, 30, 11, and 4.
Wow. And I think he's in a better position. No sidetrack with Ben Simmons being an issue. No distraction there.
Jokic.
I just think he can get it or Luka. It's one of the two for me, depending, like you said, barring any kind of injury and how Luka's team does in a very competitive West and Embiid in a very competitive East.
Now, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, this is the most kind of parity I've seen in a long time.
Agreed. 100%. I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, it's been the West show, right? I mean, the East has just been it's whoever came out of the East was going to be. It's whoever came out of the West was going to be the exactly. So, but yeah, I think you're right. Chris is saying Siakam for MVP. That's an interesting one right there.
He's our Toronto guy. Don't worry about him.
There we go.
Yeah. But there we go. I want to add something though. I want to say the most improved. I know this is not on our list, but I think Tyrese Maxey is a very high. Putting it on the list. I think Tyrese Maxey is a very high caliber young player for most improved.
You know who? And this is a hometown pick. This is my heart talking here.
Şengün or
my boy Şengün. I think if there's anybody that's going to be in the running for most improved, I really like Şengün because I think, especially from going last year, the position that he was in, kind of behind Christian Wood, to now being the starting center, and then he having so many, like, I know they're gonna run the offense through Green, or like Green's gonna run the offense, but they're gonna be running it through Şengün. I mean, the kid is a dime dropper. I mean, the passes that he does, his court vision. I mean, you and I talked about this. The way he looks at the floor and as he's running the floor and his court vision, and I think he's really going to warrant some looks for that most improved player.
It's so funny. People are like, "Oh, these guys are point guards," but literally they run the offense through the center at the elbow.
That's right.
Or the extended free throw. Everyone's looking at them like, "What's the big guy doing out there?" Well, he's 7 foot. He makes a pass. It's more effective than some 6'1" guy trying to pass through and over 7-footers. So
exactly.
So funny.
I mean, I think this year, because we've seen it in the last couple of years, is like this resurgence of like the old school Stockton and Malone pick and roll type situation, right?
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch a lot of Şengün's highlights from last year, you'll notice that they played that pick and roll like a charm. I mean, and it always worked because of Şengün's height, because of Şengün's court vision and his ability to make those passes right on the money. And a lot of it, like you said, happening at the elbows, man.
Yeah,
like that's a lot of people don't understand that piece of the game.
And we agree that this is very reminiscent of that, early 2000s Sacramento Kings team with Vlade Divac running that kind of offense, being the facilitator to Chris Webber and Peja and all of that offense. They would give it to Vlade, and he would, these fantastic wraparound bounce passes down into the post, the high-low action, the kick corner. So it's very reminiscent of that, early Sacramento Kings. Like, what you want to call it in the 2000s, so very, whenever that happened, I don't remember 2000s, whatever.
Early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm aging myself a little bit more, but
hey, we're in the same boat, bro. my man Peter says 6th man of the year, Poole.
He was on my list too. I just don't know what transpired the last couple of days, if they're going to keep that intact. So that was a consideration. But,
so have you seen the video of what happened with that?
I saw it today.
Little
jaw jacking.
There was a little bit of that, but here's my thing about that. All right, so I grew up in a place where that happened, right? Where that type of thing happens, right? I grew up playing, like basketball, courts, parks, street ball, that kind of thing. It wasn't uncommon for a fight to break out, right? But that's street ball, right? You know where you are. That's the environment of where you are, right? Things, tensions fly, things happen. Somebody hits you with a hard foul. All of a sudden, things escalate, and you're in a physical altercation. This was a team practice in a facility. Basketball. I mean, it was tape. Everything. I mean, this is a professional setting. This isn't street ball, right? And there's, like you said, there was some jaw jacking, some back and forth, some trash talking, and the way that he ran up on Poole and got in his face, and Poole pushed him away, and you can tell that Poole wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking to get Green out of his face, and wasn't looking for a fight because his hands were down, and Green hits him with a clean
roundhouse,
clean right hook to the face. And from the video, because once again, I'm also an MMA fan, it looks like he dropped them like cold on his steps. So I think that if that video would have never surfaced, I think that the organization would have probably tried to play it off as just like two guys in the middle of heat, battling it out, some jaw jacking. Maybe there was some shoving, maybe a little altercation, maybe even a little scuffle, whatever the case may be, and they were going to try to sweep it under the rug. But now that video has come out, and good point by Off-Centered here, I heard that they paid $2.4 million for that video. TMZ did. $2.4 million. And I heard that the person that sold it is actually an employee of the Warriors.
Yes.
It's an employee of the Warriors that took that video, and that TMZ paid $2.4 million for that video.
Wow.
which I don't blame him selling it. I probably would have done
No.
the same.
Yeah. That's
But
lots of sports cards.
that is a lot of RPAs.
It is. It
So
is.
I think what's going to happen now is that, you know, obviously the climate that we're in these days, you know, with violence and all that other stuff, I really think that the Warriors are going to have to do something drastic. I think that the league is going to come down hard on them to put down a heavy hand and to make an example out of Draymond. And I seriously think that he's going to end up getting traded. They're going to have to get him out of the organization. He's going to get traded because let's face it, Draymond Green, he is not Draymond Green of 4 years ago. Okay, he's not the same anymore. I personally believe that Draymond is past his prime, but he's still enough of a bully to where he's a detriment to the organization and allowing these young guys to come up. Somebody needs to fill Draymond's spot because he's not that guy anymore. And the fact that he's still there, he's hindering that. So I think all of those three things are going to take into consideration. I think the Warriors are going to get rid of him. That's how I think. That's how I see the whole situation playing out.
I don't hate it. I mean, they got enough young guys to fill in. So
I think so too. And I think that's going to play a big role in it. But I think they're really going to have to do something about that.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Giddy for most improved. My boy Peter
that's not bad. That's not bad either.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. Either. A punch from hell.
That's so funny.
Man. Good
Dude,
stuff.
We're gonna have to do this again, man. I know it's
for sure.
I know,
you know what I want to do?
A time constraint, but yeah,
we are. And I wanted to keep it pretty light today. But you know what we're gonna do? Because I mean, you and I talk basketball all the time off camera, but I really wanted to put this together. And the reason why I wanted to put this together now is because I want us to come back after the All-Star break.
Okay.
And kind of go back and review what we said, see where we are. And then, then we'll do a couple more of these like basketball related ones as we go on through the season. But I know you gave me some congratulations about, Card Hedge and all that stuff, but just, congratulations to you, man. I know we're not going to get into it right now. We'll that'll be on at another time, but congratulations to you, man, on all of your success and everything that you've been doing these last 6 months, which we'll get into at another time. But, your involvement with Arena Club is you have a big role there. And I, for one, am glad that you are in the role that you're in there because, you're a collector. You're like us. You're representing those of us that are in this chat that collect for the love of it. And I'm happy to see, folks like you in these types of positions within these companies that are going to ultimately move this whole thing forward, man. So congratulations to you as well, dude.
I appreciate it, man. I wouldn't be in the position without, the help and the support of everyone that when we started a couple of years ago. And forming these relationships with yourself and all these other collectors and people that we brought in for the beta and things like that have been such a blessing to help out and nothing but support for them and helping me to get where I am. So I really do value all that relations.
For sure, man.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody for stopping in, hanging out with us. This was going to be obviously, I mean, we had a pretty decent turnout for a last minute night thing, but man, I appreciate you, dude. We're always going to be in touch, man, but for sure we'll have you back and we'll go over these predictions and see how well or how bad we did after our break. So thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Cheers. Thank you.